You're listening to the Proposify Biz Chat with Kyle Racky, a podcast for entrepreneurs looking to scale. This episode is brought to you by Proposify, software that streamlines your proposal process, impresses clients, and helps you close more deals. Head to proposify.com to start your free trial today.
Welcome, everyone. I am Kyle Racky, and we are here live in person in San Diego. We're here at Traffic and Conversion, a conference put on by Digital Marketer, and I am here joined by Amara Omoregui.
Hi, Kyle.
And Jason Swank.
What's up?
How are you guys all doing? Thanks for joining me on this pseudo-live podcast episode.
Hey, man, thanks for asking me.
Yes, absolutely. It's an honor.
And now, Amara, I want you to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself because you are a Proposify partner, but you're running your own digital agency, consultancy. Tell people about Amara Reps, your company.
So I've been in sales for about 14 years and in marketing for about 10. And when I was hiring my first salesperson, we do inbound marketing. We're a HubSpot partner as well. And I was hiring my first salesperson, and Word docs just weren't cutting it. And I was sick and tired of having to look in my files to try to find proposals and things like that. And so I was looking for a solution for a proposal software, and that's how I stumbled on you guys. And I absolutely love it because it streamlined my process quite a bit. And for me, as an agency owner, when I used to work at agencies, we actually didn't have a solution, and I used to actually help support the sales teams at those different agencies. And one thing that I love about Proposify and how it's actually simplified our processes in terms of cutting down the number of pages, not having as much jargon and stuff that CEOs don't really understand, and actually just getting to the heart of what is it that we're actually going to do for our customers and things like that. Because we're an inbound agency, so we do a lot of social media, we do a lot of web development, we do a lot of advertising and things like that. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? What's it going to be done by? Who's going to be in charge of it? What's our contract? That's the end of it.
Right.
So.
That's awesome. Well, and I only paid you a few bucks to plug Proposify, but that was very kind of you. Let's talk to Jason Swank. Now, Jason has been on the show a handful of times. Really happy to have you back, and usually it's remote, so it's really exciting to get to do this in person. Jason, tell the listeners, many of whom probably know who you are, just about yourself and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so Jason Swank, I'm a professional hockey player. No, I'm just kidding. I just had to say that since you're in Canada. No, I work with agencies and help them grow faster. I had an agency for 12 years and built it up to an 8-figure business and sold it a couple years ago, and kind of had people kind of reach back to me. And it's so weird being able to see you on the podcast. This is really strange. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I'm just excited to be here.
I'm just strange looking, I guess.
No. This is great. Usually I'm looking at my cat that walks across my table.
Do you remember the first interview we ever did? I was on your podcast, and your cat actually fucked up the interview.
Turned off the recording.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was so embarrassing. I was like, can we start this over? My cat ate the podcast.
So Jason, you're doing a talk today, or is it today or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow morning. Yep.
Yes. And you're basically talking about your process of selling off your agency that you ran.
Yeah, I'm talking about kind of the 5 ways to increase your valuation, right? And what is the process that people go through when they actually get to a point to sell their agency? And when they should say no, when should they say yes? Because there's so many different things that go through your head. You're like, oh my God, someone wants to buy my agency. What do I do? And then they take their foot off the gas, and then if it doesn't go through, they're screwed.
And I know a little bit from experience because I pseudo-sold my agency, which was we didn't really make a lot of money off it. We more or less just gave it to somebody else, said take some of our debt and just run it, and you get all the receivables, but you also have all the payables, and okay, it's out of our hands now. And that took almost a year. It was 10 months.
Oh, wow, that's a long time.
I mean, any of that stuff is hard. So, I don't want, people should be here in San Diego to hear your talk, and I don't want you to give that away, but is there any tips you can just give listeners quickly on, you said don't take your foot off the gas. That's a huge one. You don't want to go through that year period and go I just stopped actually building my business now, and now we're fucked, So
Yep.
anything else?
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I swear a lot.
I think the biggest thing is whatever you get asked as the purchaser is coming to you as, basically buying your agency, whatever they ask it back. If they ask for gross profit, you ask for gross profit because they're evaluating you to buy you, but you have to evaluate them to make sure that they can actually buy you. And then it's a good transition. I think so many people just have the blinders on and going, oh, what can I spend this millions and millions of dollars or $1 on, right? It's just like, what can I do? And they just take their foot off the gas. They don't ask the right questions, and they're just honored. And you should be honored that someone wants to buy something and you started from scratch. But pump the brakes just a little bit and focus on the things and make sure it works for everybody and figure out why they want to purchase you.
Yeah. So, Amara, I want to ask you, and I know we're kind of all over the place, but what I really want to give people a sense of if they're listening to this is just kind of the energy of TNC for those who haven't been here. What do you think, what have you benefited the most, I guess? And this isn't your first one either.
No,
so,
this is.
What is the value? Is it?
Yeah,
is
it's
it your
my first
first
one, yeah.
Oh, okay, we were here last year, and yeah, that makes sense. We didn't see each other. So, how have you found the conference? Anything that you've enjoyed? Is anything that you've learned that you want to talk about?
It's been amazing, and when as marketers we're kind of in a vacuum, we're kind of doing our own thing, and Jason's also my agency coach, so I was so excited to actually do this interview with him. Kind of made me a little nervous, but and just being able to connect with all these people that we follow on Facebook or on Instagram, or listen to their podcasts and all these other things. So they're live and live in color. We get to shake hands with them, ask them our burning questions. So that's been amazing. Getting to connect with people, have really deep and powerful conversations as well. Really having that conversation of where's marketing really going? How do we best serve customers, right? Because we're all a bunch of marketers. How do we really get our clients to understand their role in serving clients? Like the keynote that Ryan gave on opening day was really, really great. Like one-to-one conversations being the thing that really drives sales, that really drives the things that we're doing, just really just going all in on loving on our customers with our clients, right? Perry just did a presentation on premiums and things like that, and how they use premiums to add value to their customers and increase their revenue and things like that. So that's kind of been the tone of the conference, and it's been a lot of great energy. It's been a lot of great information.
What do you think? So I really want to talk to the agency owners out there listening in terms of what's changed in the last couple of years. Has anything changed? Is running an agency still at the core, of what it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago? Is there anything around the sales process that has become easier? Like everybody wants to talk about, for example, bots in chat, chat software. That's been like a common theme coming up, is that like it's the future of sales, is that people are interacting with bots and people are subscribing to Messenger. I just want to hear, like, this is just a conversation. There's no ultimate end goal here. What do you think? What do you think, Jason?
I don't think it's changed much. I really don't. I mean, people are people. They have a problem. They need a solution. If you can provide a solution, you can actually help them. Yes, you have all these new technologies that you can do and you can use and all these new widgets. But at the end of the day, it's about helping people and connecting with them and figuring out what do they want to transform into, and then positioning yourself as the leader in order to help them out. And when you can do that, you win. Yeah, there's all those new tools, but that doesn't really matter. Like, I feel that agencies are trying to automate everything, and I think that's a mistake. Like, whenever anybody buys any of my programs, you know this, like when you bought a program, they get a personal email video from me saying, I appreciate you jumping in. I appreciate you. You made the right decision, hopefully, right? Yeah. And it's just personalized. And I think with all the automation tools, you can really stand out if you take away some of that automation.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. The things that have changed, especially for us marketers, is that we talk about funnels, right? And there's all these different steps. And I think that's created more friction in the sales process. I think that, there's this movie, Wrinkle in Time, was one of my favorite books as a kid. And in A Wrinkle in Time, they're talking about time travel. The little caterpillar walks across a string, and then, he wrinkles it, and you can get across it a lot faster, right? I think the one-to-one conversation is facilitating that, because word of mouth, the one-to-one connection has always been it's the oldest form of marketing. It's the first way to sell, right? You're selling yourself, you're selling your idea, you're selling whatever it is, whatever problem you're trying to solve. And I think that over the last few years, with the funnels and all that, we've gotten away from that. People have been able to hide behind the security of emails and all the things that come in the funnel process. and we've gotten away from having those conversations with people. And so I think what has changed is we're refocusing on that. I'm doing campaigns right now with my clients on LinkedIn, and we're filling up calendars just by using this stupid inbox, like that's been there since LinkedIn started, you know, and closing deals within 1 to 2 days. But, you know, I think what marketers have to do is we have to start remembering how to teach our clients how to sell.
Yes.
Right. And I really think that as marketers, we need to help our clients get more comfortable with their message and get more comfortable with having those conversations and understanding their value that they bring to people, and be able to communicate that clearly in a concise manner and really get to the heart of, I am solving your problem. I'm your partner in this. Let's do this together. Let's go. And not hide behind emails and all that good stuff. So just as Jason was talking about with tools, it doesn't matter what tool you use. Just remember you have a mission to help your customer get through that problem as quickly and as pain-free as possible.
So something that stood out to me yesterday, I haven't been able to go to many of the talks because I've been, we're exhibitors, so we have a booth, so I'm kind of doing...
You're imprisoned.
A little bit, yeah, dog and pony show, but we've got some good people running the booth as well. But one of the things that I got to see was David Cancel from Drift. Did either of you catch that?
Not.
He was really good. They did a fireside chat with Ryan Dice kind of hosting it. And he kind of said that, and he runs Drift, which is a chatbot product. And interestingly enough, their company, and the reason why it scaled, and I think they're at like 50 million ARR or something, really interesting like that, is that they've done a lot of things that don't scale. Like they have a lot of their developers. He says that everybody in their company is a marketer, even the developers. And so Ryan kind of pressed him further and was like, well, how is that in actual practice? And it's like every week the developers need to attend meetings with marketers and talk to them. And in return, they get autonomy. It means that the developers don't have to get pressed on timelines and roadmap items. But in exchange for that bit of autonomy and freedom, they have to think like marketers. They have to talk to customers. They have to think like marketers, and so they're intentionally doing things that don't scale. David Cancel said that was something that he really believes in, is that most of the things that you do that don't scale, it's because it actually works, and most people don't want to do the work. Yeah. If everything's automated, it means you don't have any advantage.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody can do that now.
Everybody looks like a Me Too business, right? Mm-hmm. And you've got to really stand out. One of the things I liked about that is and it goes back to a session I attended with my buddy Frank, and Frank Kern, and he talked about how to get to the 8 figures and beyond. And he said, what got you to where you're at with the first million is not where you're going to use to get to the next million. And it's so true. I mean, you think about it, like when I look back at my business, what got to us to the first million was totally different of what got us to, the 13 and beyond. And so, and even with this business, it was a little aha moment for me of going like, all right, we're over 1 million, but how the hell do we get to the 2 million? And we're like, I can't do the same things I used to do. There's new things. And that's what I just want to challenge the listeners to do, of going, whatever, if you're happy with where you're at, keep doing what you're doing, but think about what you need to do differently in order to get to the next step in your life.
So this is where it gets really interesting and meaty, because I agree with everything you just said, Jason, and I also disagree with it.
Cool. Let's do it.
Here's why. I agree that what got you here won't get you there. At the same time, I think too many founders have shiny ball syndrome.
Yes.
And they want to start switching it up as soon as they start getting successful. So what got them here is maybe intense focus on customer development, and then as soon as they hit a certain threshold, maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's 5 million, now all of a sudden, now we need a new product. Now we need to go into a completely different market, and so they don't focus on what actually made them successful in the first place.
Well, we actually agree. So, and I see this a lot as well, is agencies think they need to add new services and they have to do all these new things, but you just need to focus on one thing. Like I have a motto, finish one commitment till success. That spells out focus, right?
Yes.
And if you focus on one thing, and that one thing is different for everybody, right? That one thing could be raising your pricing. One thing could be just doing one service and not specializing in or doing everything. So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, no fights.
No, fuck, I wanted to fight. So in closing, I know we didn't really talk about one thing in particular, but that's pretty much the theme of this conference is that we're jumping all around the place. We're talking about agency growth. We're talking about sales. We're talking about marketing. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to see, I come from a land, not down under, I guess, up over, Nova Scotia, Halifax. I don't often get to run into Jason, who's from Atlanta, Georgia. Amara, I know you're from California, but what city? Long Beach.
Yeah, Long Beach.
Is that near LA?
It's about 2 hours north of here.
Oh, so that's close to LA?
It's LA County, but when you're in Long Beach, you're Long Beach. It's
Okay, all right.
It's one of those
Get
cities.
this right, buddy. Come
Jesus.
on.
All right.
Geez.
I'm sorry.
Ask her something about where Canada is.
Oh.
So I lived in Rochester, New York, so I've spent
That's not
a lot of
Canada.
time I spent a lot of time in Canada, actually.
Did you go?
so.
You went up to Niagara Falls?
Yeah,
and
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Mississauga.
Well, Canadians don't consider Toronto Canada,
Right,
That's
yeah.
like little America.
Right. It's New York City North.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm just happy to get out of my house. I hardly ever leave my house. And seeing you guys, that's great.
Well, you're playing with your drones and,
that's true. Well, I can fly the drone from inside my house, outside the house. Then
That's great.
Then I don't have to leave.
That's great. Listen, guys, thank you so much for attending, taking time out of your conference schedule to be on the show. For those out there listening, any kind of quick messages in terms of, digital marketer, TNC, anything that people should check out if they haven't heard of it?
I think it's just a great event. I mean, it's one of my favorite events to come to see everybody and to learn new stuff, on the cutting edge and just connect. I mean, but I think everybody should think about coming to a conference like this to learn and because you don't have it all figured out. I think that was my big thing when I ran my agency. I thought I knew everything. And no, this is impossible.
Yes. Go ahead.
I think it's a little counterintuitive to think that a bunch of marketers can get together, work together, network, be friends, share war stories, but it's actually the thing that we need, but we don't know that we need it. So if you've never been to a conference, my first marketing conference was DAG's, Digital Agency Growth Summit, in December, and I had a love affair with marketers from that point on, so I just had to come to Traffic and Conversions. So if you've never been to a marketing conference, Traffic and Conversions is a great one because digital marketer treats everyone like family. So,
all right, everybody, for more from Jason Swank, check out jasonswank.com, and I believe also swank.it, which is a hat that Jason is wearing in front of me right now. And
you got to tell him what I'm doing.
He's doing a weird cross symbol on his knees. I don't know. And then there's Amara Reps. Check out your agency as well. For more podcasts, be sure to subscribe in iTunes and all that blah, blah, blah stuff. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Proposify Biz Chat with Kyle Racky. For more episodes, check us out on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Click subscribe to get updated on the latest episodes, and be sure to rate and review.